Welcome in, everybody. This is Five Reasons Sports, the Five Reasons football extension of Five Reasons Sports. We have four guys here out of the five. We had six at one point, then we moved down to five. We're missing Royal. Listen, it's okay. We're versatile. We can do this. Kai, Paul, Martin, I hope you all are well. I know two of you are not as well as I am because of recent
You
performance.
really already got to start with that stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Man United has a couple good weeks, and all of a sudden you're back to being normal. Like,
Top of the table. Top of the table. That's
whatever.
all I'm going to say. We won't get too much into the nitty gritty of these kinds of things. I won't be bragging too much. But there's been so much European action, whether it be leagues, whether it be cups in different countries in Europe. There's so much stuff going on. Today was a jam-packed day. I went from one penalty shootout to another penalty shootout back to back. I watched Tottenham concede a late goal to Fulham. There was a lot going on, but there was one main talking point we just talked about off air that we wanted to get into. Barcelona won today without Lionel Messi in penalties against Sociedad. And I think it might be something that we're going to have to get used to in some time. Messi either without Barcelona or just not being in football in general. Same thing that goes for Ronaldo. So we're gonna steer the conversation that way. Any of you guys can open it up. What is Barcelona like without Messi moving forward, and then we'll talk about what football is like without Ronaldo and Messi. But what is Barcelona like without Messi in the next couple of years if he is to leave, which I think is quite likely.
Martin, do you want to go? Oh yeah.
No, go ahead, Guy.
No, I know what you were going. I don't know how you got me. I don't know, Manny muted you or something. No, I was just gonna say that yeah, for real. Barcelona probably obviously you look at it was kind of the same thing, even though Cristiano has been now on, he was Manchester United and then it was, Madrid and now it's Juventus. Like, it's still weird, especially after when you saw him in a Juventus jersey for like Ronaldo. And I think it's just gonna kind of be more of the same with Messi. Like, I think we're all sitting here saying like there's no way that come the start of the 2021-2022 La Liga season that Messi is a Barcelona player. It just depends on where he's at, and like it'll shake everything up, and it just will be odd. Like, it just won't make any sense. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like there are certain players that you just expect, like, if they leave that team, or even like they're just so tied to it. Like, I know, like, when I was growing up and like not knowing too much about soccer and still getting into it, like every time that I heard Thierry Henry, even though he was with the Red Bull, like the New York Red Bulls, it's like I always thought of Arsenal. Like, there's just certain players, like even like Ibra going bouncing around, like how I grew up with it is like every time I hear Ibra, I think of PSG, I think of Sweden. Like, when you think of Messi, you don't think, like, you think Argentina, Barcelona, and like there's no way that you see anything past that. So it's just like even like it would be odd because even when you get that, like, here we go from like Fabrizio or whoever it is that says it, like, and let's say he's Man United or somehow, some way we see him pair up with Ronaldo, which is probably unlikely, but like or even Inter, who knows, like, right, like in the future, it'll just be weird because once you see him not in that Barca jersey, it'll just be like, this is a real thing. Like, Lionel Messi is no longer a part of Barcelona. And I'm sure, like, I know, Martin has a bigger attachment to it, but, in terms of the country side of things, not the team.
Paul, what do you think?
Oh, I was gonna let you go. No, I mean, it's kind of insane because, like, I mean, I've gotten into soccer probably like around the late, like, 2000s, I want to say, and since I've been, like, following soccer, there's two names at the top, CR7 and Messi, and also I kind of hit on the nail where Messi's been with Barcelona ever since his youth career. Like, he's basically been all Barcelona throughout his entire career. He never really wavered or thought about transferring. I mean, and then even this past summer, it was just insane to just hear all these clubs kind of linked to him. I mean, I thought for sure that him to Inter was kind of like a for sure thing. Inter Milan, not the fantasy Miami rumors, but it's but it was almost like a for sure thing. And then, like, even now, I mean, you hear Man City kind of being thrown in there, PSG being thrown in there. It's I don't know, I mean, Barca in itself as a club is really, like, it's a mess, like, I think they try to kind of clean everything up with their new manager, but even still they're still trying to find their footing in La Liga, and I don't know. It's when there is a time when both of them kind of retire, it's gonna be so weird just because like I don't know. There's I mean even aside from those two, I mean there's a lot of great players you can name. There's Neymar, there's Lewandowski, um, there's a few other names I can probably think of right now, but like it'd be I don't know, like it's just CR7 and Messi just have established themselves as the top two players in the world, like by far. Like they were in their own category, and there was not really anyone you could kind of throw in into that conversation. Um, but yeah, I mean it's I don't know. Like Barca is a different topic, but just imagining Messi not in a Barcelona jersey, um, it's I can't even fathom that at all.
Martin.
It's really interesting what Paul was saying, that all he knew in his life as a soccer fan has been Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. And that's the case for a lot of fans, that even if they didn't come in late in the game like Paul did, even if they were born soccer fans, let's say in 2003, or even let's say, no, if they were born in 1999 and they were 6 years old when they started watching soccer, all they know is the Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo era. That tells you how long that has gone, for 15 years. And keep this in mind, Barcelona without Messi, they only won six of their 13 Spanish Super Cups. They only won one Champions League out of the five that they have without Messi. They also don't have. They also the UEFA Super Cup. They won it twice before Messi, 1992 and 1997. With Messi, they won it three times: '09, 2011, and 2015. And then the Intercontinental Cup, or the FIFA Club World Cup, and they have won it three times. All of them with Messi. Before 2009, they had never won it before. So Messi is a before and after for Barcelona, because before Messi, Barcelona was Barcelona still, but not nearly as relevant on the world stage, and not even on the continental stage as they are right now, because Messi is, as we know, legendary with his club. We can discuss what his impact was with Argentina on a later date. That's not something that we can discuss today, because that's a whole other topic. But yeah, crying Messi meme. Good one, Manny. But as far as what Messi is gonna do, I think it hinges on what the round of 16 of the Champions League looks like this year, because we know what the opponent is gonna be for Barcelona, PSG. So after what we last saw from Barcelona, the 82 drubbing by Bayern Munich, can they stand up to the other finalist of last year's Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain? Can Neymar fall at the hands of Messi one last time? That's the million-dollar question. If Barcelona is defeated, or even worse, soundly eliminated by the Parisian squad, then I don't think he stays, and maybe he goes to Manchester City, maybe he goes to Inter. I do not think that he comes to MLS before December 2022. I have said it before, I'll say it again. He's not going to take a dip in competition in the level of the league before the 2022 World Cup, because the 2022 World Cup is when, as a 35-year-old, he's going to leave it all on the field. There's going to be nothing left. After that, he either retires champion or goes off to the MLS to play for 1, 2, 3 years, and then it's retirement for Messi. But as far as European football with Messi is concerned, we're in January 2021. December 2022 is not that far away. So the next generation of Neymar, Mbappe, of Haaland is gonna be the one
Rashford.
propelling is Rashford on him. I would say a tier up below those, but we are seeing it now. Look at who's leading the leagues halfway through. Atletico Madrid in Spain, Lyon in France. Lyon, the one that was in seventh place last season, is now in first place. AC Milan is finally back to its quasi glory, and
Ibra.
with a 37-year-old Ibrahimovic. So that's not a long-term recipe for success, but still, first place is first place. And Inter, as inconsistent as it is and as shameful as it was for them to be eliminated in the first round this year of the Champions League, they still have Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku, one of the forward tandems that is one of the most fearful in the world, really. So to me, Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo is something that you are not going to be able to equal. That's Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be like European soccer in the 80s with Platini and Maradona and and Beckenbauer and just a generation of players that molded the whole decade. What we're going to have to see is if Neymar and Mbappe and Haaland are going to have the same box office draw as Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have had for the past 15 years.
I don't think personally. I
I
don't think
I
that
don't
that's
think so.
possible. But
Yeah.
I want to say this before I move on to what you put a lot of time into a lot of good points there, Martin, and I want to touch up on a couple of them. First, I agree with Kai and Paul on. I became a football fan in maybe 2011 at the earliest. So I didn't even get to see Ronaldo at Manchester United. He was only a Real Madrid guy. Messi was only a Barcelona guy, and that's what I my soccer fandom started off. Ronaldo not so much because I knew he was with United and won a lot there. But Messi for sure is Barcelona by himself, and that's why a lot of people are thinking, he doesn't leave because of his legacy, and now that the president's gone, he's got not much to worry about. But the club as a whole, like you said, Paul, utter mess from top to bottom, and they have a lot of things to work on. And it wouldn't surprise me if Messi left for a team like City or PSG. Honestly, if I had to pick one destination for Messi, I think it would be with Neymar in Paris. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he goes to the Premier League. I don't think he goes to City. But we'll have to see. Now, when it comes to leaving, what will be the ultimate decider? I want to touch up on what Martin said again is the Champions League. He's going to have to go against PSG, against a manager who's been to a Champions League final in Mauricio Pochettino with a really good roster. They just won a trophy today, actually, the French Super Cup. It's going to be really tough, and I don't think that Barcelona started off the year really rough, but they've kind of turned it around and have been more consistent. They were sitting 7th, 6th place in La Liga for a long time, but have moved up to 3rd. Even though Atletico have a real grip on the league, I believe they're like 3 or 4 points above, and they have 2 games in hand, which is really crazy to think about. So Atletico are kind of dominating, but Barcelona are right there in 3rd place, right behind Real Madrid, kind of where you expected, but weren't there for a really long time. I think Messi not playing today was more of a strategical thing. He said he was injured, he muscle tiredness, whatever it was. And they still did get it done. Of course, it was scrappy. They went all the way to penalties, but that I think is going to be the Barcelona that we're going to have to get used to. I think the club financially right now is in a really, terrible position. They have a lot of good players. It's just super weird to me to think about Barcelona without Messi and who's going to be that star guy for Barcelona. Do they need to have one of those star guys, or do they need to be a team like Manchester City or Bayern who haven't had one star? It's just a well-rounded team, because if Messi leaves, they don't have that. I don't think the squad they have now is enough to be at the top of the La Liga table for a really long time, or be good continentally in Champions League or clubs in tournaments like that for a long time either. I think it'd be really tough. Lastly, it's weird to think about how Messi is more than half of Barcelona's history. When Martin was pointing out these facts about these trophies before and after Messi, it's been Messi has done more than half of the things that they've done. And that's why it's just so weird to think about him in a different uniform, because he's been there for so long and has dominated for so long, and it would be a totally different world. And like Paul said, when you heard the rumors, just the rumors that he was linked to another club, it kind of blew your mind. It completely blew your mind. You were like, there's no, it just doesn't, it didn't compute. It didn't make sense in the footballing world, but that might be our reality. And we saw it with Ronaldo. He was with Real Madrid for 9 years, I think. After leaving
9 years.
for 9 years and moved on to Juve.
18, I think.
Yeah, 09 to 18. So it'll be really weird. It's totally different because Messi is a different, kind of animal when it comes to loyalty. He's like a Steven Gerrard or a Lampard in that sense. But it's just, man, it's weird. And I just look at
years, and it's just like, I know, like especially for each of our clubs, like I know for me with like Bayern, like even though it's my favorite player, like the person I think of when I think about Bayern, like in recent memory for me is Thomas Muller, because he's Bavarian born and bred, went through the youth system, and is been there, and every chance that he's had to leave, he hasn't. So it's like it's just even though you're not looking at Thomas Muller and saying, "Oh, I want to pay like 80 million for him," it's like he's one of those guys that has had the chance to leave prior and just didn't. And it's like for me, that's like I think of that. I think of like Arjen Robben. I think of Frank Ribery. Like I, even though I know that they played for other clubs, like it's still even difficult because I just see Bayern Munich and I see those players. Like for Messi, that's a whole different world.
Totally different. Manny, you gonna chime in here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Martin's right. It's Messi, Barcelona, Messi, right? I mean, not to mention he's played with them his entire career. He was in their youth team from a very young age. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I think it's gonna be a very difficult transition for Barcelona to move on to have another prospect like that to become a star, and for them to say that's our own, right? Because for years and years before he was able to finally take the team as his own, right? It was all about Xavi, it was all about Iniesta, it was all about Carlos Puyol. All of a sudden, those guys start to leave, and then we all realize, wait a minute, Messi is Barcelona, not the other way around, right? Well, maybe, I'm sorry, let me reverse that. Barcelona is Messi.
Manny, let's remember the genesis of this all was Messi and Ronaldinho. Think about all the quality. Think about the quality forwards, the quality strikers.
Eto'o,
Ibrahimovic, Eto'o, Luis Suarez,
Henry.
Sure. I mean, it's insane that how many and look at how those strikers have done after they left. Not counting Luis Suarez right now with Atletico Madrid because that's a story that still hasn't been told fully. I mean, it's going well for him, but that story hasn't been told fully. But Ibrahimovic, after he left Messi, he wandered the wilderness for a while. Eto'o played for a couple of years and then retired. Ronaldinho retired. Ronaldinho came to Mexico to play for Querétaro after he left Barcelona. So in a way,
Ronaldinho had a partying, drinking problem when Messi was there, and that was their golden boy. And they're like, "Yo, listen, we need to protect Messi at some point," and that's where it kind of.
Let's not forget. Wait. Let's not forget that Ronaldinho went to prison in Paraguay for having a fake passport and won a soccer tournament there. He won a soccer tournament there, and he won a turkey. He won a turkey. That's worth more than the Champions League that he won. He won a prison turkey. Okay, that is the trophy. He can say that nobody else has won a prison turkey in a Paraguayan prison, and I can't dispute that. I can't.
Go ahead, baby. Or Paul.
I just don't know how to follow after that.
Am I saying something that's not true?
No,
I'm saying
it's not true.
He won a prison turkey.
What does that have to do with Messi's legacy at Barcelona? Listen, it was quite clear, right? Messi showed up on the main with.
Oh, come on!
I don't know if that's no.
Raise your hand if you think that Ronaldinho is better than Messi.
I think he's a better individual player.
That doesn't.
But
what
Messi
does that mean, though?
To show it.
What is it? Okay, individual what? He's more skillful. He could fucking do a rainbow. Sorry to curse. Didn't mean to curse there, but he could it doesn't mean anything.
Messi has only done it at Barcelona.
Yeah.
And what has he done? He's done everything. He's dominated.
What's wrong with staying with a single? Are you gonna hold it against? Are you gonna hold it against Tua if he wins 3 Super Bowls only with the Dolphins?
It's different, Martin. Totally different, and
No, but you're not gonna put down one of the best midfielders ever in Steven Gerrard, right, for staying at Liverpool. And I'm a United fan, and I'm saying this. You don't. I mean, they couldn't win the league, but Gerrard is still gonna go down as one of the best midfielders ever.
Austin, that's a terrible comparison because we never put Steven Gerrard at that high pitch level. We never have. Okay, it's Ronaldo and Messi. That's what it's been this decade. Nobody else. When it's the whole conversation, when it's Ronaldo and Messi, what have most fans said? Well, Messi has only done it in one place, while Ronaldo has won 3 other leagues somewhere else. And then people say, well, Ronaldo won the Euros. The man played 10 minutes and then was out for the rest of the game, but nobody seems to remember that. But everybody seems to remember that Messi lost what? A World Cup final, 2 Copa America finals.
You're forgetting, and Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal won the Euros with him on the bench. Remember that?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, he was on for 10 minutes. He got subbed off.
he was on for 10
Right.
minutes, and that's it. But then,
and that was in
unfortunately,
2016.
Yeah, and it was a late Adair goal. I think, and it wasn't an extra time.
It was an
it was
extra
a really
time.
late goal.
It was a golazo.
Yeah.
But Manny, you're forgetting a very salient, very key point. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey started at Sporting Lisbon, a mid-major in Europe. He needed to make the leap to Manchester United, and once he makes that leap, he never had the love and the identification with Manchester United that Messi had coming up with Barcelona as a kid. So why would you want, if you're Messi, what would you want to leave the one thing that you've known all your life, where you know that you are beloved and you've raised a family, you have a lifestyle there. Why would you want to leave when you know that everything is perfect there?
I'm not gonna judge an individual because of what they want to do with their lifestyle. We all have our choices, man. All I know is that Cristiano Ronaldo has been to 3 different countries and has won trophies in 3 different countries. That's not, that's a fact.
But it's
That's
not
Cristiano
like
Ronaldo was the
he
front.
ever
Okay,
stopped winning trophies.
Cristiano
with
Ronaldo
Barcelona,
was the front.
He's led in scoring all 3 trophy years, or however you may put it, right? Because he's won 3 or 4 of them already in Serie A or whatnot. He's led like the league in scoring in La Liga when Real won and Manchester City. I'm sorry, I Manchester United and what's that?
But let's not make it seem like money. Let's not make it seem like he was Maradona arriving at Napoli. He went to Real Madrid, which is he went to Real Madrid, and all credit to him for breaking the 12-year drought of Champions League titles that Real Madrid had, which it's true because between him and Di Maria and Gareth Bale, they broke that drought that they needed to break. But then he went to Juventus, which had already won 6 straight Serie A titles without him, and then they were. He went to Juventus to win the Champions League, and he hasn't done that yet. I don't care about Serie A titles. Juventus won a bunch without him. He hasn't
Martin,
won the Champions League with Juventus. That's the objective.
Martin, are you saying that it has to be for Ronaldo to win the Champions League with Juventus? Then that's when you put him on top of a much larger, like on a much larger pedestal. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe, yeah, because that would mean that he overcame Bayern Munich. That would mean that he overcame Liverpool, that he overcame Real Madrid, Barcelona. That would be.
Let me ask you something. When he was at United, was he their best player?
No,
At United, no.
He's one of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was one of, but no, that
No,
attack
not
is-
Answer me
Not
the
the
question.
no, he's not. He was not the best. He was not the best. No,
So you say that Carlos Tevez was the best player?
I mean, you had a
Yes,
bunch of players on that.
in the Champions League
Carlos
winning team,
Tevez
yes.
to me was an unbelievable player. If he would have
Yes.
stayed healthy,
Yeah. No, you had a bunch of players on that team that ball. Here's the thing. If okay, he was kidding. So he just sparked up that debate for no reason.
Yeah, we're all the.
And Andres, you're impeached from this broadcast.
When is Andres joining us? By the way, I thought we were planning on that.
He knows the floor is open. We've talked, but he said he'll come around to it.
Come on.
It's like I said, listen, I'm not taking anything away from Messi, man. Listen, for a man to stay as long as he did for one club, he doesn't owe them anything, right? He doesn't owe the fans anything. He doesn't owe nobody a damn thing, right? And
He owes them respect, and he has always given them respect. So
no, but Martin, at this point of his career, they have to respect him. Like, forget about him showing. He's been showing them respect by staying. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. He has been showing that, but
He didn't show up in court. He didn't show up in court. He
No,
didn't do anything about Suarez leaving.
Exactly.
He shut his mouth.
I'm sure that Pep has always shown up knocking on his door. Hey, here's money, man. Come on. Come over. And he's always said, no, I'm going to stay. He's never left. He doesn't owe nobody a damn thing. What I'm going to say is that once he leaves and that transition happens, just like it's been happening with Real Madrid, because, man, up to this day, we have not been able to replace Ronaldo. That's going to be impossible, right? Because they're players. They're human beings. They're not robots that come out of the cryo chute and it's like, okay, here comes the next one. The day that Messi leaves Barcelona, I think it's going to be so difficult for them to find somebody that can attract, young fans, that can actually, make people excited for. Neymar's exciting. The young player right now, Asafati, he's exciting. bro. But the way that Messi was able to capture the lives of so many soccer people around the world, not only Barcelona fans. Same thing that I said the same thing about Maradona, right? You don't have to be a Napoli fan, you don't have to be an Argentina fan, but you grew up watching him play, and it's like, wow, like he captured you. That's what Messi has done. When he leaves Barcelona, it's gonna create such a huge void for that club that they're gonna have to figure out which way to, not only make money, but which way they can actually make a smooth transition. And it's not about buying all these guys, that they did, when they bought Coutinho for all this money and they bought Dembele for all this money. No, you're gonna have to figure something out, and it's not gonna be the same. La Liga is not gonna be the same. We already know that without Ronaldo being at Real Madrid, bro, Real Madrid Barcelona is not the same anymore. It was Messi and Ronaldo, and now he's gone. So
these guys are completely untouchable. They're in a totally different stratosphere, and that transition that you're talking about will not be smooth no matter what. It wasn't smooth for Real Madrid. It won't be smooth for Barcelona because both of those guys, Ronaldo and Messi, were those clubs for a really long time. I mean, you can argue, Barcelona had one of the best midfield pairings ever with Xavi and Iniesta, but at the end of the day, like you said at the beginning when you first started talking, Messi was Barcelona. When all the players left, Messi was still there, and Barcelona was still Barcelona. That's just that was the end of it. So, it's gonna be really tough for Barcelona. I mean, they have a lot to worry about, and they're gonna have to build the team other than just relying on Messi to do the ins and outs.
We have never seen something like this in Europe, guys, because even when Maradona was at Napoli, he never won the Champions League, and he was at Napoli for half a decade. He wasn't there for 15 years, and the European TV business wasn't as huge in the late 80s as it is now. So now you can watch matches from all over the world. Back in the late 80s, you had to catch the highlights from Napoli's win over Juventus in the local sports show. So now it's not just about the product on the field, but about the rights holders and everyone that's investing in soccer as a product. So now I'm gonna say this: this is a huge opportunity for the MLS to take a step forward and assess itself as potentially a top tier league in the world. But that's going to take decisive action. It's going to take a big investment. It's going to take the banishment of the salary cap, and it's going to take also relegation, promotion, and a couple of spots in the Copa Libertadores and the Copa Sudamericana. Now, if the MLS is willing to do that, great. If not, the 2020s may go by as a missed opportunity for the MLS to become a really desirable destination for business, for players, and for fans to go to.
The thing is with MLS, I do agree that the Libertadores and Sudamericana.
I love how you laughed when you said that. By the way,
yeah, because it is almost a laughable subject. It really is. They're definitely not doing enough. They say that they are, and now there's a lot of ongoing issues with the Players Association, MLS, the new CBA. But it just kind of shows like the direction of the league is not. Yes, it's trajecting forward. Let me just say this: it is moving at an exponential rate, but it's not what it could be due to the marketing you have here, the international repertoire America has over the world. In general, you have a league here. You have 4 or 5 other sports leagues here that dominate. I mean, you just do. You have the NBA, you have MLB, NFL, NHL. They dominate in North America, and then now that you have this really growing sport in this country that you are maybe 100 years behind on, you need to be able. I mean, you just are. You have to be able to market it in a way that would be appealing to investors, owners, which I guess it is for owners now, but not for owners. I'm talking about investors, youth as well. With no promotion relegation, with no intercontinental competition other than CONCACAF Champions League, there's no point for someone like Messi to step down to this level. There's just not. Maybe if Messi's going to play at the Maracanã against Palmeiras or Santos next week or whatever, maybe that's something to look forward to. But do I really care about him playing, I don't know, Richmond Kickers in the U.S. Open Cup? Do I really care about him playing against it's so weird to me that they haven't got a step on this, and I'm sure they've had chances. I'm sure they have, but it all comes down to the MLS team. The MLS is a totally different topic. We can talk about that forever, but
I would love to see Messi at Napoli, man.
You know, but you know what the problem is also, that the way you're thinking is, that, oh, comparing to the NFL, MLB, that these are, quote unquote regional leagues. Only thinking in terms of the U.S. Soccer needs to think worldwide, and the boost that MLS will get, in the Libertadores and Sudamericana will not only be as far as competition goes, but also you will be, instead of having to fight with the NFL on Sundays and with college football on Saturdays, you will have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday matches against top tier clubs, and you could make it a huge event where you go over all the storylines that you could have with players coming back to their former countries, to their former clubs, rivalries that are being formed, LAFC and LA Galaxy fighting for supremacy at the continental level, Inter Miami and Beckham wanting to make their mark as a team that can be at the same level as a Flamengo, a Boca, or a River. There are so many storylines that can grab the casual fan and make him and her decide: do I want to watch game number 16 of the NBA season between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, or a round of 16 Copa Libertadores match between, even a Minnesota United against, Club America? That that will be a huge opportunity to grab the midweek. That it will be the action of soccer. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That there are a lot of steps that need to be taken here for me to even consider that Messi would actually come. And I know this is not a whole Messi thing, but in general for the league, there's a lot of steps that need to be taken. And playing in an intercontinental competition other than the CONCACAF Champions League is one of them, for sure. And then also reducing this or getting rid of the salary cap, because that has put, I mean, Inter Miami are at a spot right now where they have all three DPs on their roster and they can't sign another big name. They're all locked in. Every single roster, every single DP slot is locked in. And if you want a big name to come, it's probably not going to happen. You have Blaise Matuidi as that fourth guy who's taking up all your TAM money. And unless a bunch of money is moved around the league and you can open up some more international spots or spots under your – see, here's the thing. I'm going to be saying these things you guys don't even know are in the salary rules. You have to open up GAM money. There's TAM money. You have international slots that can be traded. You have DP slots. They might add a rule for young DP slots. Like, there's so many different factors into squad building that it makes it impossible for clubs to thrive unless you make it one big name. And that's what we saw with Ibra. That's what we saw with Beckham, Rooney in DC, Chicharito now at LA.
I don't care about GAM, TAM. I want them to go to the ATM, okay? Because that's the only way that you're gonna grow. But look, forget, like, what was the profit that MLS had last season? About $700 million, I heard, something like that. Some gross high figure that the MLS had as far as profits go. I would say, imagine the impact that they will have if a team could splurge $70 million in bringing Mbappe here, or bringing a Haaland here for $70 million,
But
and
it's not even
then
about that, too. Yes, getting big stars is big, but you can. What about all these squad players that, like, Pjanic, Arthur? You remember that swap? Like, bringing in somebody like that for $40 million. Weston McKennie went over and he's going to get bought for $40 million after this freaking. What, bringing the US internationals back to play in a good league? Like, that's something that could be really big too. You have to.
And if they do that, they automatically become whichever team does that becomes the best team in the continent and could beat absolutely any team in South America or Central America or North America. Now, you will run the risk of losing the so much cherished parity that you have. But do you remember, off the top of your head, MLS champion from 2015?
Might have been Seattle, actually.
The guy, Paul, do you
I
want to
would have.
venture?
I would have guessed Seattle. I would have been like the only guess I would have.
Is it, hold
I'm
on.
gonna say
I think it's Seattle.
Seattle. Okay, let's see. The answer is, the Columbus Crew. You see, and that was only 5 years ago. The domestic competition is clearly not memorable. because
No,
none of us remember that the Columbus Crew won the championship in 2015, not 1965, 2015.
Okay, I raised you this because I know the answer. Who won the MLS Cup this year, guys?
Columbus.
Columbus.
Oh, all right. Okay, good. Okay, so it is a little bit memorable when it's really.
And we talk about it. Remember, we talk.
We did talk about it, but it is a little bit memorable when it's really close. But I guess you're right, Martin. There is a point there in the domestic competition at MLS. Unless you're a massive supporter, like I guess we would be for Inter Miami, you're not really gonna remember those kinds of things. And I couldn't tell you other than if Diego Alonso wasn't the manager at Manchester. Or why am I saying Manchester United? We're top of the table, by the way. If Diego Alonso wasn't the manager at Inter Miami, I would not know that Pachuca and Monterrey were the last two CONCACAF Champions League winners. I wouldn't know that. There's no way. I wouldn't know that because MLS clubs don't thrive on that level either. They never have really. So
The MLS hasn't won the CONCACAF Champions League since 2000.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
And I've been to what, 2 finals, I think, or 3 finals since then. That's it.
Yeah, because all the finals are between Mexican teams.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. It's all between Mexican teams. I think DC United might have gotten to one. Man, I did a bunch of research on this and I don't even remember. But anyway,
just so that we can move on to the next topic, it's quite clear that until the MLS has at least a relegation rule or something like that, it's not going to change, man. Like, let's be honest here. It's not going to change. And I'm with Martin. I don't see Messi coming here anytime soon. If unless maybe 3-4 years after his next club. But why would he come here? For what? There's no benefits to him. There's no.
He has a condo in Miami.
no tax, no state
He
income
can still
tax.
play at a competitive level. That's the thing. Like I feel like unless he gets a Beckham contract, there's really not much to gain.
And the only
MLS will never do that again. Let me tell you, that Beckham deal is never happening ever again.
Yeah,
because he got to expand into Miami for like what, $25 million when it was
25
really worth.
mil. That's such a
I don't know how
big
much
discount.
Inter Miami is worth, but it's probably worth a lot more than that. When I say a lot, I mean
A lot. You don't have to downplay it.
it's a lot. It's. I mean, you're talking like billionaire almost, like billion status, and he got to expand into MLS for $25 million. And of course, there's more money that has to go into it, but that alone is unbelievable. So that's not happening again. So there's a lot more that has to be done to get Messi to Miami. Anyway, do we want to move on from Messi and MLS?
I want to quickly, because I know that it's going to come up, so I want to quickly touch on the Bayern thing because I have to actually go in a little bit because I need to deal with something. So I want to say my piece on the Bayern thing really quick. It was a bad game. So, if if Alaba is going to go and sign with Real Madrid, let him leave now. I'm fine with it. It wasn't his fault today. Lucas Hernandez and Nicolas Sula did not play well after the first Bayern goal, which if there was VAR in this stage of the DFB Pokal would have been called back. Leroy Sané scored an absolute worldie of a goal, and you have to give it up to Kiel for the fact that they fought and they beat Bayern. And I think that a lot of fans were blaming Mark Roca for missing a penalty because they want a scapegoat. At the end of the day, the entire team did not play well and didn't deserve to win, and that's just what it is. Defense has some issues, and we'll see what happens.
For context, for any of the listeners and viewers, Bayern lost in the German Cup. What do they call it? The DFB Pokal, right?
For the first time in 21 years, they haven't gotten to the last round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost to a second division team, which is second Bundesliga, which is not like a.
It's not that it happens all the time. I mean, Dortmund is very famous for that happening to them. So is like some of these other, like I know Wolfsburg and some of these other clubs, like it happens. But this is the first time literally since 2000. So not technically 21 years. You could say 20 because this year's not over. So this is the first time in 20 years that they haven't reached the round of 16.
It's like Liverpool losing to like QPR in the FA Cup or something like that when they played a full roster. Everybody but Lewandowski.
They didn't even start. Yeah. I mean, Musiala was starting. Bonua Sarr started instead of Benjamin Pavard.
Other than that, it was mostly regular starters who would start anywhere in the world.
And this was also the first time, I know I mentioned that to you. This is the first time since they bought Lucas Hernandez last season that they lost with him on the pitch.
That's a
Which
crazy
is,
stat.
yeah. And what's funny is it might have been a year or 2 years ago as well. I think it was a year ago because I think it was right before they had sacked Kovac. They had played a game, and in every single game in like the history of Bayern that Thomas Muller had played, if he scored, they never lost. And then last year under what's it called? Under Kovac, he had scored, and that was like the first time they lost. And I think 2 games later, Kovac got sacked. But that's crazy to think since he's been at Bayern his entire career, and the fact that for his senior appearances, this is the first time that ever happened. But the defense in general isn't playing well. I don't think that. I mean, some Bayern fans I interact with have been saying that we can't really blame Alaba, and then now today you see it's not great in defense, but like he just when he's on the pitch, it's just not great. And I think that some fans are like they don't want to admit that because he's a Bayern product. He went through the youth system, but he hasn't been playing well. Niklas Sula plays well when he's with Jerome Boateng, and then sometimes with Lucas Hernandez. And then really, like it's like Bonu Asar when he plays is awful. Just such a waste of a signing, like such a waste of a signing. And then Pavard has just had some random. I mean, Niklas Sula has been playing better at right back than Benjamin Pavard has, and Pavard played at an extremely high level last season. So it's just really like it's not making sense. But every team has dips in forms. I think that this is going to be a nice wake up call, and I think it's something for the board and specifically Brazo, the sporting director, to say like, yes, we are in COVID, and yes, you know, we are like limited, and Bayern is one of those clubs that does not like to spend tons of money. They like to do really cheap deals, and they scout a lot. Like Thiago Dantas, who came from Benfica, is one of those guys that was a youth product for them, and they like to do stuff like that. And everyone already knows that stuff. But situations like that, I think, you know, it's whatever. But I did want to comment on that before I had to go. Why are you talking about
the Kylian Mbappe LeBron James edition?
Oh,
you got those.
Mbappe to Liverpool. Mbappe to Liverpool.
Oh God,
Kai,
He never gave
you know,
this.
you know that we love you here, but on behalf of the entire group, stop crying. You just won the Champions League.
I'm not.
You just won
Listen,
the
this is the
Champions League
thing.
undefeated. You just won
no.
the Champions
This
League
is the thing.
undefeated. You have
You
won the
guys-
Bundesliga ever since the Stone Age. So
You guys, okay,
and you're
so this is the
crying
thing.
over a German
No,
Cup early
I don't
exit?
care. No. I don't
No,
care.
you
about the
care.
German
You're
Cup early exit.
crying.
No,
You
what I
him,
care
Kai.
about. Wait, okay, all
Tell
right.
him,
Wait up.
Tell him,
Listen.
Kai, tell him.
What I care about is the plain fact that we don't need to. I'm not trying to roast anybody. What I'm saying is that for the past 2 months, I've been trying to tell everybody here that Bayern has a problem in defense, and the response that I get, Martin, is the response that you just said, which is stop crying. This is proof that they have a problem in defense, and I'm not crying. I'm just being honest.
Oh, are you now okay? No question. After going out in the DFB poll call to a second division team, are you worried about
That I
their
don't care about.
Are you worried about their chances to win the Bundesliga? Are you worried about their chances to win the Champions League? Or like,
No.
exactly.
I'm not worried about that, but like I think that it's a sign that they really do need to like look at the defense and see what they need to something needs to switch. I mean, even as crazy as it is to say, like, and it's really just the right side, like it is the right back position with Pavard and Bonu Asar. Chris Richards has played better with less Bundesliga time than Bonu Asar has, and he was playing at the Ligue 1 level. He wasn't playing great, but he was playing at the Ligue 1 level, and he still wasn't like this is a guy who literally plays in the 3 Liga for Bayern's youth team, and he was playing better and having better performances. Like Jamal Musiala is playing better than Corentin Tolisso, and he's not even of legal age yet in terms of he's not 18. He can't sign a professional contract. Like he's still under a Bayern youth deal. Like it's these things that's like some of these signings is annoying, but like at the end of the day, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about anything, but I think this is like one of those things where now they can finally look at it and be like, okay, there is a problem in defense. We need to figure out what the hell is going on. Flick is not going to go away from the high line, and nor do I think that he should. But like something has to happen with the right side of the defense, and who knows what'll happen.
At the end of the day, you're not worried
I
about
can't wait. I can't wait until Bayern loses to Palmeiras, Santos, or Tigres, and then you're really gonna have
That
a
would
reason to cry
that
there.
would really be embarrassing because I think all four of us and then plus Manny, who's opening his shoes right now, can all agree that like Bayern should walk away with the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. Like it
No,
The Club World Cup, yeah. They should.
yeah, definitely. No, not even
So-
a question.
I mean,
But
listen, I did say the same thing when it was Corinthians against Chelsea a couple of years back when Chelsea won the Champions League, and Corinthians shocked everybody. And
remember,
Peruvian forward ever, Paolo Guerrero. So you never ever say or ever think that just because of the European side, it's going to be easy. Listen, Real Madrid, I think they won that cup maybe twice, but Gremio gave them a game, and some Japanese team called the Antlers or something gave them a game. And both scores were 1-0. So
and remember that Monterrey took Liverpool to
Monterrey took Liverpool, yeah.
and then Flamengo took Liverpool to overtime too.
yeah,
But yeah, that's all I have to say about Bayern. I hope you guys have a good rest of the show. I have to get to something, so I unfortunately have to depart.
Wait, you wanna announce your thing now, or you wanna do it on Twitter?
To
our loyal listeners.
Twitter now. Come on.
wait.
There's no time to think.
We'll wait.
All right.
How about for anyone listening and for anyone that gets to this point, either if you're live now or you get to the point in the later video, starting this Saturday, I will be following after Austin Robillard here. Austin's going from 11 to 1. I'll hit the 1 to 2 block. I'm going to talk about everything. It's called Kai's Corner. And we start this Saturday.
Onside radio, baby.
Yeah.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Have a great show, guys.
All right, Kai.
Take care,
See you.
man.
Have a good one. So we just dealt with a Bayern fan crying about his cup loss for I guess I would too, but I didn't when we lost to City, as in Manchester United. When Manchester United lost to City in the EFL Cup, I didn't cry that much because we're top of the table. I think that's what you should worry about more than anything else. Don't worry about League Cups right now, or even the FA Cup. Even though we did end up beating Watford, I'm not even really worried about it. What other big topics are there to get to, guys? I mean, there's Libertadores, even though we probably shouldn't get to that.
That was shameful.
We can touch on it a little bit, and then, I mean, look, I have just recently. The thing is, Martin, I have just recently become when I say a big football fan. At first, it was just like European stuff, and I followed the main storylines. And now that I'm getting into this deeper realm of soccer, it's been very fun to follow, first of all, and very fun to watch. There's not many games where you get a guy just completely gushing out blood from his head and then put a freaking swimming cap on 5 minutes later and come back on the field. That just doesn't normally happen.
What are the main difference that you like? The main difference that you like between European MLS and South American soccer, which, like, when you see South American soccer, which this audience may not be that familiar with, what makes it? Why do we insist so much for the MLS to be in the Libertadores, Sudamericana? Why do we want to play against those teams so much? What are the main differences that you see?
You can see that the competition is really. I mean, in MLS, it's not a style of football that's like appeasing to a viewer that isn't a fan of a club, in my opinion. I don't think if I wasn't a fan of Inter Miami, I wouldn't really be an MLS guy. I wouldn't. I mean, I watched MLS. I know about it a little bit, but when Inter Miami came is when it really happened. I can sit down and watch a Libertadores game any day of the week. I can watch even a Mexican League game any day of the week just because the competition is there. It's a lot. I don't know if this is the right word, but it seems like the players are passionate about what they do on the field. And it is I feel like it's very passion driven, like playing for the badge. And you don't get that really in MLS. It's not like there's not 100 Chris Wondolowskis that have played for one club for so long. And I don't know if it's like that down there, but that's what it feels like when you watch it. It feels like all those guys are completely dived in and have been with their club for a long time, and they play with a lot of passion. I really like that. And I think maybe it has to do with trying to get better opportunity elsewhere. That could be part of it too, because a lot of these players have careers maybe going forward or are trying to get noticed to move over across the pond over to Europe. But the game is a lot of fun. It's it's not the quality of like the Premier League, but no league really is. It's just it's enticing. It is very, very enticing. And this is also a true point. There is a lot of history established as well. MLS doesn't really have that. When you look at the possibility of which we don't get anymore, but when you look at a possibility of a River Boca final in the Libertadores, like that's like it's like holy crap. Even if you're not like one of those fans, you know that it's a big deal. And there's a lot of those different when you're playing like Vasco versus Flamengo or other things like that. There's so much history in it too, and that also is what drives the passion. And we know about the fans as well. The stereotypical South American football fan is one of the you would call them a crazy fan. You would say it was somebody who one of the Turkish clubs. If you look over in Europe, like fans that are fans of like Beşiktaş or Fenerbahçe, those crazy like clubs that throw flares and go crazy, like that's what you're getting at every single club in South America. It makes it a lot of fun.
The Santos fans that obviously couldn't be there today because of COVID, they dropped a flare via drone today.
Yeah.
That was dangerous and hilarious. So it was
That's creative
dangerous.
as hell. That is so damn creative. Sheesh.
Yeah, that is pretty
Oh no,
cool.
they went the Santos fans went to, and this is a norm, and this is and this and it's going to sound crazy that I call it normal, but the fans in South America, they camp out by the opposing team's hotel the night before, and they use noise bombs and fireworks to not let the other team sleep the night before. And uh, and, and when it's about a continental championship like the Libertadores is, uh, if you lose the championship, people say that club quote unquote died that day. That's how intense it is. I mean, we could have a Real Madrid Barcelona Super Cup final this weekend, and that's not going to be as intense as what Palmeiras and Santos are going to have on January 30th in the Maracanã. So, I mean, the Libertadores is really as much about the players as it is about the fans, about the spectacle on the in the stands, and it's really missed. I hope that all the color and all the craziness in a peaceful way can come back there too.
I agree. The fans are another thing. Like that is something that I want to like. I think it's something that some supporters groups, well, the supporters group, Vice City has kind of taken the role of being that passionate, driven, intense supporters group of Inter Miami. And there are other clubs that have fans like that, but there's a South American spin on it, and you can see the passion and the drive to want to support your club. And it's like that with, like you just said, every club in South America has that and is very intense at every single level, especially intercontinental level. And MLS just doesn't have that. I mean, of course, you get it in England too, but those are more global brands that you have all over. So it's not really the same feel. When you have a local level feel.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the only fan base that I've seen that can come close to us is LAFC's. When my city went over there to the first ever game in our history, I forgot. I think it's called the Wall Numbers. I forgot the numbers, but it's like Wall 609 or something. It's basically all the put together, right? Which makes the whole side of the whole fan base for home games, right? So they welcomed us with open arms, and wow, like you had women doing the drums, you had little children playing the trumpets. It's something that they carry on very traditionalized, right? And then when you speak to them and you talk to them, most of their fans are Chivas, Guadalajara, Monterrey, all Mexican. All Mexican.
Yeah.
All of them. And you look at us here in Miami and Vice City, mainly South America. So let's be honest here, nothing against the Outlaws, but nobody knows how to do it besides, I'm not trying to be, or whatnot, but for us, it's more than just, marching down. There's a thing here. I mean, Austin, you were there. We were down 3-0 in Nashville, and the people there for Vice City, we don't stop. We don't stop.
Not once.
Yeah, and then people think that we won the game. No, we lost the game. But there's no point of being sad about it because we're not. But
here's the thing: one driving factor in that, nothing on you're right. Americans, when it comes to football, don't have it like the way other countries have had it. But it's mainly because I think at this point that Andres made, there's no American soccer history.
The 3-2-5-2. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
But there's no American. I mean, the soccer American history is very young. When you look at clubs who have been around for what, about almost over a century. There could be clubs in South America have been around for over a century, literally over 100 years. And here in America, it's just now growing. It is just now growing. You don't have the same history that really drives the passion, and that's kind of, I think, the big factor, and also the fact that MLS is also new and it's not at the quality, and it won't be at the quality unless they make changes, like we were talking about earlier in the show. But there's a lot of different factors there, and I think history is one big thing about it. With that said, I don't know if we have anything else to get to right now. We're definitely going to be on next week. I hope you guys like the Messi, Ronaldo, MLS, South America, Bayern talk. A lot of major headlines there, and hopefully next week, I'm sure there will be a bunch. And like I said, shout out to Kai, by the way. I think it's really cool that he's getting the opportunity to have his own show, and he'll be following me, so I'll get to talk to him every Saturday, which is really great. And then we're going to keep on doing this too. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Always do it midweek, 9:30s. Make sure to follow everybody on Twitter. You can see some of our ats. Martin is Martin Bader SP, right? Okay, see, got the nod. So I'm remembering. And then 5 Reviews Football, 5 Reviews.
Martin is just happy that it's not River in the final. We have an all Brazilian final. That should be fun.
I'm not happy at all right now. Boca was shameful today, and there's a lot of introspection to be done in that team in order to, because we are not about Rivers. Like River can be happy that Boca didn't make it, but Boca is about Boca making it, not about River's sadness.
So question to you, Martin. Well, not question, just like a comment. I have a friend of mine who's very close to the LA Galaxy, and he's hearing Schelotto to hold on.
Racing.
He's hearing Schelotto to Miami. And I'm like, no.
No.
I mean,
let me just say this. Phil Neville is likely the Miami manager, and we're going to have Chris Henderson as our sporting director. That's going to come at some point, I think, this week. So don't buy into any other rumors. I think that's coming.
You know what? You know what I want to see? I want to see David Beckham reach out to Diego Simeone and bring him to Miami. And then
too much money,
they have to heal the rift. They have to heal the rift from 1998. It will be the best story ever. It will come full circle. The man responsible for David Beckham's darkest World Cup moment coming to save the day and make Inter Miami great. That would be awesome.
Won't happen. David Beckham's only bringing in his best buddies. He's getting his old Manchester United guys and bringing them. I think I saw that like one of the head scouts for the youth academy is also might come over as technical director for Inter Miami. So it's the Beckham Bros, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be what's the word when you
the Friends Club? But Paul, Austin, do you know what I'm talking about in 1998? No, okay. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and Google and search Beckham Simeone 1998, and that's Beckham's darkest hour for England. He was so hated in England after he got red carded because Simeone baited him into some BS in the round of 16 of the 1998 World Cup that England lost to Argentina, in part because Beckham got red carded. So that's why I'm saying it needs to be full circle. There we go. Put it full screen there. Put it full screen.
Oh my God.
Put it full screen there. You got to go down to the right there. Full screen. Or no, you can do it there. Full screen. Yeah.
What was the year that Beckham hit that free kick against Greece? What World Cup was that?
That was 06,
2001. That was before the 2002 World Cup.
Okay.
Wait, what?
That's Pasarela. That's the Argentina coach. And then Argentina goes on in penalty kicks to the quarterfinals of the 1998 World Cup. So
that's crazy.
That was Beckham's darkest hour. 4 years later, Beckham plays against Argentina in the group stage and redeems himself by scoring the game-winning penalty kick. But that was in the group stage. That was different. But he won that.
Simeone's on a diver.
But you see why I want Simeone? You see why I want Simeone here? I need that ring
That
to
would be funny. But he's going to be way too expensive, and he's got time to win La Liga a little bit. A lot of money on the payroll too. That could be. Let me just say. Anyway, Martin, every single week I want you to come with one of these like crazy historical things that I wouldn't know about. The only one that I could think of, who was it in? I think it was in the Premier League. Somebody broke. Kevin Prince Boateng broke Balak's leg before the World Cup or something like that.
That was Ghana. That was during the World Cup, Ghana against Germany. I think in 06. No, 06. Sorry, no.
No, but
06.
wasn't it? I thought he broke Balak's leg when he was playing for Chelsea, or was it the other way around? Or was
No, there is. I don't remember the year, but Ghana plays Germany in 06. Germany wins. Boateng is upset at Balak for something, and then
he
they
breaks
come
his leg.
back later
Yeah.
and something. But I don't think I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, no, that was.
So
that
I
was a
want a little tidbit at the end of every show that we do that I can go look up on YouTube and have fun with. I think that would be
Or
pretty
relive
cool.
it.
And I will try
Oh,
to
yeah,
find
right.
it on YouTube.
Now you know why your team's president, your team's owner, hates the Atletico Madrid coach for
Exactly.
a very very long time. I don't think he has ever forgiven him for it.
I mean, how could you though? I mean, it's just a moment of frustration, and you just oh man, it's hilarious though. It is pretty funny, and it's
And
something
England
that I'll
hasn't
probably
won the
bring
World.
up.
England hasn't won the World Cup since 1966.
Nope. Remember when they said it's coming home? Ooh,
Remember
anyway.
when Argentina had 2 World Cups and Peru and the US have 0?
2026, baby. Listen. All right, we're gonna before we start going crazy and taking shots at each other, we're gonna head out of here.
Oh, look at that. Gonzalo Higuain just missed another penalty. He shot the ball 25 feet up in the air. There you go, bro. There you go.
All right,
Gonzalo, what do you have to say for yourself? Yeah, I thought so.
well, with that said, we're heading out before it gets a little too crazy.
By the way, we might see a Real Madrid Barcelona final this weekend.
We could. Real Madrid have to win tomorrow, right?
They win tomorrow against Athletic Bilbao.
It'll be a tough game. But Athletic Bilbao are coming off big rest too. They got their game postponed on the weekend, so they've had like a week break. With that said, as I've said multiple times, we're heading out of here. It was a good show.
Adios.
Ciao,
Next week sometime, make sure to follow everybody on Twitter, 5 Reasons Sports, 5 Reasons Football, Manny Chang, Austin Robillard, Martin Bader, Paul Austria, and Kai Chisholm. We're out. See you next week.
Like and subscribe.